Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and this is our Monday Night Raw review. And as you can see, I'm joined by the AEW guy, but he's here again. It's Rory's Robinson. All right, Dave, how are you, mate?
Once again. Yeah, I think this is the last combination, isn't it? Me and
This
you
is
together
it,
on a
me and
pod.
you, mate. I think Adam is going to join us at some stage, but the birthday boy, he's been out having a few Steve Weisers, so he is going to be joining us. Dave, Monday Night Raw is in the books. We're 2 weeks away from Money in the Bank. We're not going to break down every single segment. It's hard enough watching a 3-hour wrestling show without me and you trying to break down absolutely everything. So me and Adam usually start off these kind of shows with what we like, what we didn't like. So Dave, what did you like about Monday Night Raw? And what did you not like about Monday Night Raw?
I liked the main event. I thought it was a good match. I didn't like the fact that Damian Priest lost. Particularly when he's in a big match in like next weekend, next week. I liked the Riddle match as well with Ludwig. He's really impressed me the last few weeks, Ludwig Kaiser.
Well,
I just thought he was the
going to say Riddle for a
mouthpiece.
minute there. Woo!
Yeah, I thought he was just the mouthpiece for Gunther. I didn't realize how
Good
good
wrestler,
he is
mate.
in the ring.
Mm.
So that was a short match, but a good match. I enjoyed that. And I quite liked the opening, to be honest. I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get the open challenge, which we thought that's what Seth was going to do. But I did like Finn Balor jumping him because it was ruthless. It was vicious. He got those coup de grace off the steps and he kept running around and doing multiple coup de grace off the steps onto Seth. So I did quite like that. Unfortunately, that's about it. There was a lot more that I didn't like than what I liked, which is a shame because the last 2 weeks I've really enjoyed Raw. But I just didn't understand the booking. I didn't understand why so many of their wrestlers, so many wrestlers went over or got defeated clean, which really does hurt them long term. You know, Shinsuke and Damian Priest both in the Money in the Bank match, both lost clean.
Yeah.
I just think it's needless. I don't know if you think the same or what did you like and didn't like?
I'm pretty similar, mate. I like the opening. I think it kind of set up, as me and you sit here recording this on Tuesday evening, it kind of set up the NXT that's going to happen. You know, Seth's obviously going to go in injured. You know what I mean? He's, so I can kind of see why they do it. I liked it. I thought I love it. One thing in my notes I put about Raw, I don't know what you think. I love Finn Balor as a heel. I think he's so much better as a heel. And no matter when he's done it in NXT, when he's now done it on Monday Night Raw, I think he is one of the best heels in that he's very underrated as a heel. I think. Finn. So I absolutely I love the start. I thought it was really good, and I thought I was a bit like you. I was a bit disappointed we didn't get the open challenge, but then obviously the Miz come out and said he was going to answer the open challenge, and then Ciampa come back. What did you make of that? I mean, thought they could have brought him back a bit. He'd been out for 9 months, and it was just the kind of segment was, "Oh, Miz, you didn't text me for 9 months, and this is why I'm beating the living shit out of you." I was like, every time they seem to do something with him, they mess it up. I mean, his NXT run was amazing. Amazing, like really good. And everyone was excited for his call up. They thought this guy's going to go on to be a future world heavyweight champion. Obviously, he's had a few injury setbacks, but every time they've seemed to have used him, I mean, last time he was in a tag team with The Miz before he got injured 9 months ago. Now they've kind of brought him back in this meaningless kind of segment against The Miz. I mean, do you think that's kind of a problem in I think when people come up from NXT? They don't get neutralized the way they were down in NXT. And I get it's different brands, it's different styles of writing, it's a bigger audience. I get it, yada, yada, yada. But I just think they lose something when they come up to Raw or Smack. Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think the problem that created was his initial call-up and pairing him with The Miz because obviously they had to do something to kind of end that as they were both going to be Raw guys. So at least they didn't just forget and pretend it didn't happen. So at least they did kind of
consistency,
finish things,
I suppose,
hopefully, with The Miz. We don't know. Miz might come out next week and challenge him to another match because he wasn't prepared. I hope not.
Oh, geez.
But my aspirations for Ciampa, short term, would be to reform DIY with Johnny Gargano and
Great idea.
Main roster run. But then ultimately go on his singles run and be a really top guy. But they made it difficult for him by pairing him with the Miz so early on. And that's not what you want to do. Nothing against the Miz. We've got a lot of respect for the Miz, but tying Ciampa to Miz was a bit of a noose around his neck, to be honest. So
are you surprised
the
way the Miz over recent years just turned into a jobber? Don't get me wrong. He's like he said, he's living his best life. I mean, he's married to Maurice. He's a professional wrestler. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure in his eyes he's not, but from the wrestling fans' kind of eyes, he's like the male version of Natty Neidhart. All he ever does is just job out to people. I don't know what you think. I like the Miz. I like the heel Miz. I like the Intercontinental title run that he had. I thought it was really, really good. He gave some relevancy back to that title. Now I just think they just job him out. I mean, you saw on like the recent European tour, Baron Corbin was going over against him every single night. Or Seth Rollins he had to sit in the corner and listen to Rollins do this for about 20 minutes. I mean, do you think they, again, like we mentioned when we talked a couple of days ago about people getting lost in the shuffle over at AEW, now they've got Collision, etc., etc. Do you think the WWE have just run out of ideas for the Miz? So they're just kind of like, okay, well, we can use you to put this person over, and then we can move you here to put that person over. I just feel like they're not really doing much with him. I'd rather see him go back to NXT if they're not really sure and let him have a great run down there.
Yeah, I think it's a bit from both sides. I think probably he's in a comfort zone. He's not really doing much to kind of force his way back up the card, really. He's just going in, doing his job, doing a pretty decent job, picking up his money and going home.
Going home to his beautiful wife.
Yeah, poor bloke. But,
hard life.
But I don't know. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's put in a great. He's had a
where
great
he
career.
come from, the amount of hate he got. I think he's done tremendous to forge out the career he has. I just want to see him use more.
Well, there's guys that have done it for longer than him that aren't treated the way he is. Look at the likes of Sting, and there's plenty of wrestlers you could say that's been doing it longer. But he seems to have been in that comfort zone, as you say. Dolph Ziggler, another one. Sometimes it has to come from the performers themselves. Look what Drew McIntyre did when he went away and reinvented himself, and he come back with a new lease of life, and then bang, main event. Miz was capable of that, and he's had the career to support it as well. But he just seems to be ticking over these days.
Yeah. What did you make? A lot of comments online today that Raw was just on cruise control. It was a nice, easy. Do you think there was a Vince McMahon element to it? A lot of people have been apparently I think Adam put in our group chat earlier, apparently the Seth Rollins thing was changed at the start. Don't get me wrong. I'd never doubt anyone if they say Vince. There's no way. All you hear is all dirt sheets and it's all Chinese whispers. No one actually knows if Vince McMahon is in the building anymore. It's all this. He's on the phone. He's changed this. I'm not sure if I 100% believe how involved he actually is. I mean, what did you make of all this? Oh, that must have been a Vince McMahon Raw. And I'm like, I'm not so sure. I just think it was a average Monday Night Raw.
I think it's wishful thinking from a lot of fans who have really been impressed and happy with the work Triple H has done. So if anything is bad, the easy thing is to say, well, that mustn't have been Triple H's writing. That must be Vince's. Vince must have done that to kind of comfort them into thinking, no, things are better. And I'm the same kind of. I hope that the changes or the things that didn't make a lot of sense to me, man, Chad Gable again. Those type of things. I'm thinking that's hopefully a Vince thing and not a Triple H thing. But I don't know. And there could be, I might be looking at it one way, but I just don't. I hate Chad Gable losing in that way. He didn't need to. They could have done something more creative if he was going to eat the pin, so he didn't look as weak and he didn't suffer from it. Because as we keep talking about, wins and losses mean something, and wrestlers that are on these losing streaks, it takes a long time to come back and consider them as like credible top level opponents.
Talking of credible, Cody Rhodes' credibility seems to. I don't think it's through any fault of his own. I mean, he's fighting Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank with pretty much zero build, really. They've done the odd thing here and there. Are you surprised? I'm kind of surprised as where they're going with Cody. I mean, I think me and Adam might have mentioned a couple of months ago, or it might have just been after WrestleMania, that they're maybe looking at doing this hard times storyline with him, like his dad did. He had to wait. I think his dad lost like every match for a year, or he was put in this match and that match and this segment and that segment, and he never really got to the top. Eventually, hopefully, we do see Cody get to the top and he becomes a world heavyweight champion. Are you surprised that A, he's not in the Money in the Bank? B, he's fighting Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank. Don't get me wrong, Cody and Dominic's come on a long way. I just thought for what is a premium event, which is one of the big, I'd say it's the big 3 or 4 pay-per-views, Money in the Bank. It's up there with Mania and SummerSlam and Rumble. You can slot in Money in the Bank along there somewhere. It's a lot of people's favorites. I know Thomas could listen to this, good friend of mine. He listens to it. Money in the Bank's his favorite pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at the way that Cody and Dominic's just been shoehorned in, really? And don't get me wrong, I think Cody will probably end up winning, but I don't really care.
No, I'm the same. It's not a match that I want to see, either if I was there live or watching it at home. Then I do a lot of fantasy booking, as you probably know. But the only thing I'm thinking is maybe Brock Lesnar gets involved and he costs Cody the match.
Yeah.
Which is kind of to embarrass Cody, and the people hate Dominic even more, and it will lead to a third match between Brock and Cody.
Yeah, I think it's been touted for SummerSlam. I think it's been touted for SummerSlam. But yeah, as far as Cody and Dom go, don't get me wrong, the match will probably be good, and it'll be good to hear the London crowd do the whoa. That'll be good.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the highlight of it. Talking of highlights, oh no, he hasn't got any highlights. He's as bald as a coot. But it is his birthday today. Here is the birthday boy, Mr. Adam Cousins. How are you, birthday boy?
Hello, chaps. I'm good, thanks, guys, and thank you for the birthday wishes, including the people that messaged me on socials today.
No, I hope you've had a jolly good day, mate. Me and Rory's Robertson have just been breaking down Monday Night Raw. We've kind of given we're just going through what we like, what we didn't like. At the minute, we just covered off the whole Seth Rollins thing at the start, thinking that they might be setting up something for NXT to play on the injury. We liked what Finn done. We're just talking about Cody and Dom, really, ads. Again, that phrase that we use a lot on our shows is lost in the shuffle. Cody and Dom heading into Money in the Bank, not much build. Are you kind of surprised to see where they've gone with Cody? We just mentioned the hard time storyline there that Dusty Rhodes had all them years ago, and how he couldn't get a win, and how he went months and months, and they kind of moved him in this match and that match and this segment. Are you surprised that Cody's not in any of the Money in the Bank matches and a certain Logan Paul now is, which we're going to get to in a second? But are you excited for... I'm excited to see Cody Rhodes live. I think Dominic Mysterio, I think the O2, I think we'll boo him out of the building. But what do you kind of make of it? I think since Mania, he's been there, but he hasn't been there, Cody, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's not, we're guessing that it's going to be Mania 40 before Cody gets the next sort of shot at Roman. And I think that's where it's leading to. Cody and Dominic, the only thing I think is at the end of that match, we're going to hear a certain somebody's music, and the place is going to go, like Dave was saying, and the place is going to go absolutely nuts if it's the case. The other potential that I've read today, and again, it could lead to something, it may not, is that the Fiend may return at the end of that match and start something with Cody. We know Lesnar's going to happen with Cody probably at some stage.
SummerSlam, apparently.
Probably at SummerSlam in some kind of stipulation that we haven't seen. I'm thinking bull rope match, maybe. We haven't seen that in a while because it's going to be a stipulation. But I've been reading today on the way, funny enough, on the train home from London, that the Bray Wyatt is very close, and they were talking about potentially a Bray Wyatt Cody. I know Bray Wyatt was on SmackDown originally, but we all know WWE don't care about drafts. He wasn't drafted anyway. So he can come back to Raw. Just a side note, the Seth Rollins thing was changed by Vince.
We got into me and Dave mentioned that.
Yeah.
What was it though? Dave made a great point. This is obviously, as when you watch this back, you'll see Dave made an incredible point, and I fully took it on board. I think people are so excited by the way that Triple H has been booking Raw, and he's been doing this good with SmackDown. When it does dip a bit, Dave made a great point. It's very easy for people to get on their keyboards and be like, this must be Vince McMahon. He's got to be doing this. Maybe Triple H is just, and the booking's just having an off day.
Could be. I mean, I think that it made a lot of sense. You don't want to book Ciampa coming back and losing, especially first match back after, because the whole point was it was meant to be Ciampa and Rollins. Vince didn't like it, didn't want Ciampa to lose his return, so he changed it to make Finn more prominent, to give him a bit more going into Money in the Bank in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit there and go, well, this is crap booking, so Vince must be dealing with it. But as you rightfully say, Triple H can, there is off days that happen, and it's quite possibly, I mean, look at the amount of people he's brung back, and what have they done? Nothing really. So, it could well be an off day. And I think people are quick enough to jump on that it's Vince's bandwagon kind of thing when they want to. But from what I've heard from sort of what I'd class as reliable enough, not Meltzer or anyone like that, but from what I've heard from reliable.
Do you know he's doing a tour in London a few days
yes,
before?
I know. I was going
to. He's paying a ticket for that. I'd love to go just to say, mate, how? We might. When are we doing ours? Can we do one?
Yeah, we should do it
up at Box Park.
You know what I mean?
Amazingly enough, it's near enough sold out. I was actually going to go, but it was at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, no, I ain't getting to London that early.
I mean, it's like, I think Bischoff was commenting on it the other day. It's like a dirt sheet reporter who has no access. There's rumors that he's part of AEW. Dirt sheet reporter is doing basically like a Q&A with fans. Yeah.
But it's stupid enough to have sold out, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Hey, look. It's just my opinion, and
I agree. I don't know what we might as well have done one.
Yeah, like I said many times on Twitter yesterday, opinions are what make the world go round. Talking of opinions, I know Dave, I know me, we're frothing for this one. Logan Paul is now in the Money in the Bank match in London. He's at the top of a ladder, saying he spoke to the executives at WWE and he's been inserted into the match. I'm not going to swear so much. What? Why? What? How? They could have, me and Dave were chatting off air before we started recording. They could have gone about this so many different ways. They could have had him win a squash match on Raw. He doesn't have to have a 5-star, 25-minute match on Monday Night Raw. And it'd be more believable then. And like Dave said before we started recording, it'd be more consistent. Have him have a match and say, do you know what? They could bill it, get him on the mic. We're having one more compare in the Money in the Bank. But he has to earn it. Not to sit on the top of a ladder, lads, and be like, I've spoke to. Well, if you can speak to WWE executives, well, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can apparently do that in the wrestling world. I mean, Dave, I know you've got some strong views on this, mate. What did you make of Logan Paul being inserted into the Money in the Bank? Don't get me wrong. I think him in the match is going to be incredible. Adam, Dave, we're going to see him flying off ladders. We're going to see him going here, there, and everywhere. The match is going to be incredible. What I don't like is how they've gone about it.
Yeah, well, I'm in total agreement with everything you've said. I'm glad he's in the match, and I'm glad he's going to be part of it. It's going to be epic, him part of that match, and it brings a lot of star power, brings a lot of eyes. People will be watching that may not have been watching, or perhaps non-WWE fans checking it out because Logan Paul's on it. My problem with it is the fact that he's just inserted in it, and after all these qualifying matches, it wasn't as if the other participants had just been named that these guys are in it. They all had to qualify for it. So Logan Paul should have had to qualify, and they could have got him really good heat by him kind of building up that he's got to beat this top superstar, this this machine, build it up as if he's got to face Brock Lesnar, and then bring out somebody like, it's not even a wrestler, bring out somebody just like a fan or something that's like a kind of James Ellsworth looking character, and just beat it. They could have done something that would make it consistent into the way that they've booked the Money in the Bank main event.
Could have brought out Jungle Boy.
Oh, don't
Marco's stunned.
Don't get him started. Adam, what do we do if he actually wins Money in the Bank?
Riot.
Do you think they would? We all want LA Knight. We're going to get to him in a second. He's the main focus. You only have to listen to the crowd pop. Do you think WWE are this stupid?
Yes.
Logan Paul. Yeah, I was literally about to answer my own question.
Absolutely, they're absolutely stupid enough to do it, and the reason why they're doing it won't be for anything other than the outreach on social media that they'll get, and the new people that will just go on to socials. The people that follow Logan Paul and stuff like that, he will post that belt everywhere he goes. Again, from what I've heard, and I'll take it. The people I hear are quite reliable. I said it's not Meltzer, it's somebody else. The men's cash in, whoever it is, wins it. So whoever the women's one is meant to be a failure for the first time, because I think the women's one's got 100% record at the moment. So from what I hear, and again, I'll take it with a grain of salt, but from what I hear, the men's one is a dead cert, and the women's are going to foul. So if he wins it, he's winning the belt at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's the projected point where his cash is in. So if it's Logan, he wins it. I will be pissed because, again, we'll talk about LA Knight, and if you're looking at someone that deserves it, someone that's got everything behind him, there's only one winner. But you know what, and I think you know where we are at the moment in terms of WWE loving the social crap that Logan put. And as you say, the match is going to be great. He's a great guy. He can go in the ring. There's no doubt about that. And we've sat here before and said, fair play to him. He takes it seriously when he gets in. He gets trained by Shawn Michaels. But I don't want him as a world champion in WWE. Not right now. I mean, maybe in the future, but come on.
Unless he doesn't cash in on unless he goes for Austin Theory. Unless he goes for NXT, unless, like you said the other day, apparently they're moving away from it. All titles are up for grabs with the Money in the Bank.
It is, but again, I'm only going by what I hear. It's the world title. They're going to cash in, and it's going to be a winner. So unless they pull it and they change, listen, plans change. So and we got what 2 months, month and a half to SummerSlam. So it could all change.
I actually realised I'm in Spain for SummerSlam. That'll be good.
Shocking. I mean, don't have to.
Yeah, there'll be equipment. I'll figure out a way.
You'll be fine, yeah.
I'll be sitting by the pool with a pina colada doing a review. I know. Dave, what would you think if they did put the money, if they let him win the Money in the Bank? Because, we mentioned there, LA Knight, is he the 2023 version of Daniel Bryan? We say this all the time, don't we, Ads? Remember when the Yes Movement started and how that just grew? That grew from, I don't know, a section of people in the crowd holding a little bit of A4 paper up, with the Yes, and then it grew to a whole arena. Then it grew to an entire ring being filled with people doing Yes, and then it eventually grew to him winning a match at WrestleMania. Are you getting that kind of vibes with LA Knight, Dave? And will you be really pissed off if they don't pursue this at Money in the Bank and have him win the contract?
I would love to say yes. I'm getting the Daniel Bryan vibes, and he'd be my pick. And he's for a long time now. They should have done a lot more with him because he organically got over on his own. But they seem to resent that when wrestlers do it. So it's so hard, isn't it, for a wrestler to kind of come up with all these ideas, do something, it's successful, and then you just held back and, you're just picking up losses week after week. And then he's in this position that, maybe he's picked up so many losses to throw people like me off the scent that are a little bit underwhelmed by the way they booked him. And it'll be a bit more of a surprise if he does capitalise and win it and get the briefcase down. I hope so, but I'm thinking they'll probably go Logan. At the minute, that would probably be my prediction.
Ads, are you on the LA Knight train as well, mate? Like we all are. I mean, I think I in my notes I've put, and you guys might. I don't know, Dave. You might, if you were watching WWF back then. I've got early Rock vibes. The Rock on the mic. I'm not talking in the ring.
Rock and early Stone Cold.
Yeah, early Rock and Stone Cold. Before everyone starts tweeting me, it's not in the ring. On the mic.
Yeah,
I'm getting early Rock in the Nation of Domination. I'm getting early Stone Cold post King of the Ring '98. Take your prayers, vitamins, Austin 316, blah, blah. I'm getting that kind of feeling. Am I misreading it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, he sounds like The Rock anyway with his voice. So you've got that right. Look, I think I'd said to you, if I wasn't on the show, my note said strap a rocket to this guy and just blow him up. No, not literally blow him up, but, send him to the moon, because everything right now, the crowd's there. The problem they have is if they don't, he will end up going back down, and then believability will be gone.
Ziggler 2.0.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It'll be like another mid-card guy. Look, he's not young. He's not a spring chicken. He's like 40-odd years old. So it's literally now or never in a lot of senses. This is the right time. The losses, I think, can throw you off the scent. But if you know WWE booking, that generally means you're going to get... You know, because you lose. It's like when you leave, you kind of lose to do all the job.
Do the honours, yeah.
Yeah, do the honours. In this case, it's like do the honours because you're going to get that. Now they've kind of maybe thrown off the scent even more because of Logan, and everyone's now saying Logan's going to win it. It could be, and I doubt this will happen, but I know the rumoured match at SummerSlam was him and Bad Bunny. And I don't think Bad Bunny's over in the UK, but it could be that a run-in, he cost Logan the lad.
If I hear his music here at the O2, oh.
Or, I mean, again, we talked Bray Wyatt. Does Bray Wyatt come out and cost him the I know it's a real sort of left field kind of.
It's his last chance saloon for Bray Wyatt. Every time they sing his original Bray Wyatt, we all get and we like. Is he dancing in Last Chance Saloon now for Bray Wyatt? Him personally, isn't, because he's creative mind. We've heard the interview with Triple H is constantly going. But do WWE finally need to get this right with him?
I think so, and I don't think the Fiend is the right answer. It's just such tough to book somebody like that now in 2023. Like it was literally like the Undertaker in 91, 92. We just didn't hurt him, you know. I mean, Seth like even put a sledgehammer on his head and he jumped straight up, you know. So how believable is the Fiend character? Bray Wyatt as his character that was recently on SmackDown just didn't. No. It didn't hit the right notes, you know. It was Bray Wyatt, which is great. We love Bray. He's in the ring, he's great. Yep. He can tell a great story. On the mic, he's second to none, probably up there with the best. But what is it that's missing? Is it the character? Is it the creative? It really does feel like if it doesn't work now, then you might as well just go and make AEW Impact Wrestling and just do something there.
That was, I was going to ask Dave. Dave, do you think that someone like him, like Bray Wyatt, would be more utilised in, I'm going to say AEW, because I'm enjoying getting to know Impact and I'm enjoying watching it. I think AEW, I know we're kind of segueing here just briefly, but Dave, you AEW guru, I think AEW would be perfect for him.
Yeah, I mean, depends which iteration it is of him. I don't think they'd be too pleased with the Fiend and all that kind of stuff. I don't think they'd want that. If it was the original Bray Wyatt, you know, with the Wyatt family, the rocking chair, you know, the theme as well. I mean, that was just fantastic. Off the back of the NXT run as well and up to the main roster. I was a huge fan of the whole Wyatt family, to be honest. So, yeah, if he was more that kind of character, I don't think the supernatural stuff, they very rarely do it. They did something with Matt Hardy during lockdown, but that's pretty much it. They haven't really done anything other than that. So in terms of presentation and presenting that type of stuff, he's probably best off where he is. But they've had a lot of attempts at it now, and one way or another, it seems to go wrong. So I don't know.
Is Bray Wyatt his own worst enemy?
It's in his own head too.
It's the head you know. He's got a lot of stuff going in that head, and some of it, you know, it's kind of like a Russo thing. Like, you know, they said that Russo would throw 100 ideas at you, 99 of them would be shit, and one of them was revolutionary.
Yeah, one of them would change the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I actually think what you said about Impact would be probably a better bet.
Yeah,
go to Impact,
reinvent himself from scratch.
Be the top guy, and have like a sustained run.
Bring eyes on the product.
Card.
And, you know, they've got like people like Rosemary. Is it Rosemary, the woman there? And they do kind of supernatural stuff already with all of that. And they got Decay, which is a tag team, which was kind of based on a lot of supernatural. So that I don't think WWE is the right fit for
right now. I'd say
iterations of Bray Wyatt. They say the thing, no, the old gimmick, yeah, if you do it right. The new gimmick, just I don't know where it was going.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. It's all going to be interesting. Rhea Ripley literally kicked the living bejesus out of Natty Neidhart, and I was just like, since she's got the title at Mania, again, and it's just my opinion, it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. I think they've dropped the ball with her. I think, don't get me wrong, she's part of the irony. I would have her away from the Judgment Day. I don't think they know what to do with her. She beat the bejesus out of Natty. She's had a couple of squash matches on a few pay-per-views. I'm just not interested. For the hype that she had pre-Mania to post-Mania, I think someone's dropped the ball here, lads. I don't know about what you think.
Yeah. She's had 10 minutes of action since Mania. That tells you. So 10 minutes of in ring. The rumor is she's holding on that belt until 40. I mean, she's going to need more competition than what she's been given. They're going to, whether this is a Rhea thing, whether it's a Judgment Day thing, whether, as you say, WWE just don't know what to do with her. I mean, who has she got? I mean, at the moment, you could have the Money in the Bank winner, which is,
hopefully it's Becky or Trish, and then they can get involved.
But at least with that, apparently the women's bit's going to lose, but there is that still.
You can set something up. If Becky cashes it in and loses it, you've still got something rolling into after SummerSlam. And,
exactly. And there's at least somebody there that can, I'm not saying Natty couldn't. I mean, if you give Natty a 20-minute match with Rhea Ripley, they'll tear the house down. But the reality is, it's not where they are with
Natty. Hasn't had a 20-minute match in about 20 years.
Oh, exactly that. And probably because she could probably out-wrestle.
Mate, look, I know I called her, I think I tweeted out the other day, she's the biggest jobber in WWE right now. She's the best women's wrestler easily in that company right now.
Yeah.
It won't come down to a wrestling match. Dave, what do you make of what's going on with Rhea Ripley? Mate, like me and Adam just said, since the build up to Mania, it was like they've got to get the belt on her. He had the rematch with Charlotte from the COVID match, and it was all seemed to be going swimmingly. But typical WWE, like we mentioned earlier, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, they've done it. The Alpha Academy right now, Dave, like me and you mentioned at the start of the show, they I know they've got loads of they're juggling everything, but I think because the bloodline is so good, the second acts and the ones coming before it are kind of not getting forgotten, but just they don't seem to be putting as much effort in.
Yeah, and I think Rhea Ripley should be like a workhorse champion, not like saying that and saying I'm this workhorse champion. Obviously, she's a heel. She should be in there week in, week out, making an example of people, like in good competitive matches. There's a little bit too much fun and games with the Dominic stuff.
Dom and all this crap.
Yeah, I'm kind of bored of that now. It was fairly entertaining. I found it a bit funny. But I do actually think that it's holding Rhea back now. But it looked like they were setting something up with Raquel backstage, and I'm very interested in seeing a match or a program between them two if they can make. We don't know too much about Raquel, or I don't. I don't know if you two do know.
Good in NXT.
She was brilliant. Yeah, again,
amazing in NXT. Amazing in NXT.
I don't know if they've done much character stuff with her yet, or because
she needs to stop smiling and turn heel is the thing. She was always a heel in NXT, and she was a great heel because of the size, because of the stature, because of what she could do.
Ran over people, didn't she?
Right now, she just comes out and smiles, and it's just ridiculous. Like I don't know what they're doing with her.
She's fairly aggressive in a match on Raw. So maybe that's the beginning of something, something changing.
Talking at the beginning of the same, what do we make of Becky Lynch coming out and effectively getting Trish into Money in the Bank? I thought it was kind of lazy the way they've done it, if I'm honest.
That's the word.
I thought it was that's a common theme for this Raw. I'm hoping the go home before Money in the Bank is going to be incredible, and it's going to leave me like, right, I can't wait to get to the O2 kind of thing. Adam, what did you make of the whole Becky Lynch thing? I've said for months now, get her back as the man and try. If you're going, it's going to be hard to get there, 2, 3, pre-COVID, when she had that Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of thing going on, where everyone was just like, there was talk of her going for a bloody world heavyweight title, for God's sake, them doing an Impact and maybe putting her in some sort of match for the men's title at the time. Now, I'm not so sure. Again, I think they're trying to rebuild her. What do you think's gone missing since all that furore and that Becky Lynch she was more popular than Seth. She was more popular than Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes. She was the most popular thing in professional wrestling. What's happened since then to now? I know injuries and stuff, etc.
Yeah, I think the heel turn didn't work. I mean, that was one of the things. Like, she was like big time Bex, and there was this like
shades and everything.
Well, let's face. I mean, her and Seth Rollins together. I mean, you saw that Gok won the other week. I mean, Jesus wept. You'd need to do something there with them two. I don't know. It's a puzzling one for me. Becky Lynch is a mass. It's one of those question marks, like what has happened, because, as you rightfully say, COVID, she was literally, as you say, she was on fire. I don't know what they need to do. I don't think the heel turn worked. I think that was a waste of time. Obviously, she's had the baby and fair play and good congratulations and the baby, all that. But I don't know. I don't know with Becky Lynch anymore. I don't even know if she's even in the top lot of the women now.
Yeah. The way they did this, I hate when they insult the intelligence of us as fans. To have Becky come out and obviously cause the disqualification, and then she'd be like, "Oh, is that what's happening? I didn't realise that she'd get disqualified." I'm like, fuck off. You know, how long? You know, when stuff like
Just
that
fuck off.
pisses me off because it's lazy. It's lazy. I would have rather, if they were going to go that way, that Raquel just beat the shit out of her, and maybe not even in a heel turn kind of way. Maybe they could have had a pull apart brawl because she cost her the chance to be in the Money in the Bank match. There's just better ways of doing that. They could have cut to the same outcome of Trish being in the match and make everybody else look better for it and build something. Build a Becky Raquel match. You know, it's not for Raw next week. You know, it doesn't have to be at the pay-per-view.
Do we think Trish has one last run, lads? Wins Money in the Bank, has one last go at it?
I don't know who wins it. I thought Io Sky was favourite until
I don't. This sounds horrible. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's not one you can
It's not one of them. It's like in the past, like the first ever Women's Money in the Bank. All of them have got me like, this is going to be incredible. This one, I'm hoping we're there at the O2, and I'm hoping the match is incredible. I've got a feeling they'll stick it on first, and I think it will stink the building out.
The thing is like with the men's one, the intriguing thing is none of them are world champions, never been champions. So there is that intrigue, regardless. It's like, oh, it lacks star power. No, it's good because this is going to give. I mean, look, if we've just saying it, we'd be annoyed if Logan Paul wins it, but it's somebody new at the top to give them a chance. That's the intriguing thing about it. And with the women's one, yeah, you're right. I mean, I looked at it and I was like, I might just have a piss. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see you in 10 minutes, guys. You know.
Yeah. I hope they go Trish. I mean, she looks like she's fully back in. She's not just doing bits and pieces. She's taking real bumps. You know,
been on a few house shows as well, apparently. She's been on a house show, obviously getting the reps in the ring, and she's gone full time. She's no part timer. So I'd be quite happy for her to win, and she wouldn't be cashing in for a while. She wouldn't be cashing in on Rhea. Sorry, she wouldn't be cashing in on Rhea. So maybe she has a run with that for a while, and she's got the briefcase. So I wouldn't mind that. And so the other options don't really excite me at the minute. Were we excited by the main event, lads, before we wrap it up? Cody Rhodes, and this is really fucking pissing me off, this whole broken arm thing. Dave's mentioned a minute ago insulting our intelligence. Calm the fuck on. Are you kidding me? We're wrestling fans. We get it. It's not real. It's scripted, but this is taking the piss. Adam, come on, talk to me, bro.
Look, the match itself was fine, right? I'm happy with it. Yeah, I mean, this is a joke now. Like I said to you before, like it degraded Brock Lesnar.
He's holding his ribs, I suppose.
Like, Brock Lesnar had to do that much to beat a man with one arm.
Yeah,
seriously, like, bro, this is the Brock Lesnar that absolutely destroyed Cena and ended the streak and destroyed Triple H and stuff like. And we're expected to believe Cody Rhodes with one arm can come within an eyelash of beating Brock fucking Lesnar. Like, seriously now. As I said to you before, that match, the match at Saudi Arabia should have been an absolute
squash.
It didn't have to go long. Lesnar could have kicked the living crap out of him because it's believable, because he's done.
They've done it with Goldberg, Lesnar, at Survivor Series.
This is the thing. And then Brock Lesnar squashed Cena in SummerSlam in 6.5 minutes. Where we are meant to take the fact that Cody's got one. I mean, and look, he's beaten Seth Rollins with his fucking peck hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking degrading people here and degrading their, as I said before, their special attraction, which is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar gets announced, your ass goes in the seat because you want to see it. Doesn't matter, regardless of that. And now we're expected to believe that Cody Rhodes, how long has he had this broken arm for now? What, 4 months?
Yeah, something like that.
It's getting a bit tedious. One thing I will say is, this whole thing with Kevin and Sammy trying to calm Kevin down.
Hilarious.
I know now, again, from a source, how this ends.
He's got more sauces than HP, ain't he, Dave?
I know, man. I ain't just mayonnaise and brown sauce in this bad boy. Apparently, Kevin Owens has a hissy fit and throws one of the titles away, and that's what causes the split of the titles. We'll see. Okay. I'm not, again,
I reckon Adam secretly got a job with the WWE, and he's not at home doing,
You know what? Yeah, this is why I'm at home so much.
Yeah, this is why he's at home. But I thought the main event was decent, lads. I don't know if you had.
I enjoyed the match. I hated the finish. Now,
the finish was
They pinned Damian because obviously they don't want to pin Dom going up against Cody at Money in the Bank, and they don't want to pin Finn because of going up against Rollins. But why couldn't the Judgment Day win this match? You know, Sammy and KO and Cody aren't a team. The Judgment Day are a faction. They're a team. They've been a faction for a long time. Would it have really hurt if they could have cheated, foot on the ropes or something, got the pin over Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens loses his mind and throws a proper...
Or tease the Finn Damien thing again. You know, that little thing. Tease that where Finn might cost Damien the pin. He does something that Damien gets pinned, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, so you know, you kind of in the back of your mind as a fan go, that's what they're teasing there.
Yeah, if they're gonna make Judgment Day lose, do it that way, do it more interestingly. But if I just didn't see the need for the faces to pick up the win here, I don't think it would have hurt anybody. As long as Cody didn't get pinned, either of the tag team champs could have got pinned, and it wouldn't have really mattered. So I just
they could have done a DQ.
They'd already done anything. They'd already done one, though, hadn't they? They'd already done a DQ.
I know. Kevin Owens could have just threw a hissy fit like we were just saying about, and you know,
cost him the match.
There was this whole thing all night, wasn't it? Sammy was going, if you do it,
some of it was brilliant though. Water backstage, and
he could have lost it, and then cause to keep everybody strong. But you're right. I mean, pinning Damian Priest is probably taken the full guy because he's not got he's in the Money in the Bank. He hasn't got a title match. I mean, we know the title match Kevin and Sammy are on SmackDown. They're defending it before Money in the Bank, but it's just the ending. They could have done the ending a bit better for sure.
If any top guys in the past there, they're not getting pinned in that situation, and Damian Priest shouldn't be. Damian Priest is an absolute superstar.
Oh, he's money.
And long term, I'm convinced he'll be one of the top guys. But every time they do stuff like this, it's going to make that process a lot longer and harder because people just see him getting pinned all the time, or people see Judgment Day losing a lot. So I didn't see why Judgment Day couldn't have won this match, to be honest. But
I agree. Well, hopefully the go home Raw next week before Money in the Bank is incredible.
I can't remember. They did say.
Should have been in the UK, in my opinion, but that's just me. As I know they're over here, they're doing like Newcastle and Nottingham.
They're doing tours.
They should. If it was me, we don't get. I want as much as I can get. I would have put Raw in the UK next Monday. But lads, obviously we are back this later on this week with more review shows. We've got a certain Buff Bagwell coming in to talk some NWO, WCW. We've just booked Diamond Dallas Page, everyone. So make sure, Dave, kudos for you for getting that one. You can actually do it now, Dave. I nearly thought of a cool nickname the other last night, and I deleted it. I nearly went, it's me, it's Andy B, but I didn't.
That's it now.
I nearly done it. But no, we've got Diamond Dallas Page. We've got Buff Bagwell coming. Shane Douglas is coming up in the next week or so. We've got some great guests. We've got Impact to review this week. We've got AEW
boys next week.
We've got all the Buckle Up boys and girls next week. We're interviewing loads of them. That event, Adam, Dave, is nearly sold out. There's like 60 tickets left now.
I heard there was less now.
There's tickets though.
There's literally. I heard from the promoter, good old CJ, that
I thought he was going to say I heard from a source, Dave.
A source, yeah. That he may have to ask permission for more rows to be allocated and more seats to be allocated.
So that's going to be 180 people plus attendance record. But that people that are watching this might not sound a lot, but this venue is a UK promotion, and they're a great promotion, Ignite Wrestling. It is for us. So we've got Buckle Up Superstars coming up next week. It's a great. We'll be back with all our review shows this week. AEW, Impact, SmackDown, you name it, we're there. But Collision, we'll be doing that. But Adam, I hope you had a great birthday. Forbidden Door is this Sunday.
We've got Gary from Honor the Elite coming on to do a prediction show. We've got the Forbidden Door review coming Monday as well with good old AEW boy down there, Dynamite Dave. He'll be DMD again for that.
Go back to his original,
I've had a great birthday, thank you, though. Yes, it was good.
Jolly good, mate. You do not look a day over 38 and a half. I hope you've had a good day. Anyway, Dave, awesome to get you back on another day. You are now becoming like some sort of WWE guru, mate. I think it's great to have you on. But ladies and gentlemen, go and check us out, as always, on social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I remember them all. One day I'll remember them all. Amazing. Rachel does a great job over on our. She's probably got her ear to the door right now listening to this show. So big hi to Rach. No, she's not there. This has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I've been your host, Andy Burrows, with Monday Night Raw Dave Robinson over there, and the birthday boy, Mr. Adam Cousins. Till next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.